right, so welcome back to Multifamily Live. I am your host, Jason Yarusi. I'm so excited for today's guest, right? So we've had the evolution of the Multifamily Investor Series that we've started, launched out. You're going to see this leading up all the way to Multifamily Live, June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And I couldn't be more excited for Scotty Emsley to join us today. Hey, Scotty, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great, and I'm really excited because you're here with us. And Scotty has just been a member of our group. He's been out there setting out really the path for everyone to follow because he's been taking action, crushing deals, sourcing deals, building team, closing deals. It's just been so much out of the gate, right? So Scotty, give us a little about you, and really we can get to where you are today, just out there, just taking action. But give us where you've come from, what you've been doing in your past, your real estate experience, and how that's really led you to the journey of where you are today.
Yeah, so first and foremost, the most important thing to me is my values. That includes my love of God, my love of my family, and that includes my wife and two boys. And yeah, this all started for me back in 2020. I joined the Figure Runway membership, got invested in real estate and started buying small multifamily, well, first a single family and then small multifamily properties. And from there, I just continued to get deeper and deeper into multifamily after joining the Figure Multifamily in June of last year. Actually, I think it was July when I originally started in July of 2021. So I joined as the founders group. So I wanted to have that label, I guess. I thought that was pretty important. And
I want to stop you right there just
Sure.
before we carry it through. So you jump into Runway, which is really an accelerator program for flipping, wholesaling, right? So before that, like, why? What was that step that you said, I need to find mentorship or find myself a community, or like, what was leading you down this path to want to step into this?
Sure. So I've always been an investor, mostly in the stock market, and I considered myself an investor with that frame of reference. So I knew that I wasn't going to make it very far with stock market investing, and so I started to look at other avenues, buying businesses, investing in real estate, and everything seemed to point in one direction, that real estate was the best way to build wealth for somebody who's small time investor like myself. So I started looking into different programs and different avenues. I started reading a whole lot of books, spending a lot of time on Bigger Pockets, getting to know the big players in the multifamily and single family world, and I was introduced to Bill Allen, and the rest is kind of history. So he encouraged me at another conference that I attended, Pacific Northwest Conference, virtual conference, in like September or August of 2020. He encouraged me to come to Flip Hacking Live that year, which was virtual because of COVID and all the restrictions in place. And yeah, I'm good at building relationships. I like connecting with people, and that was the thing that I took away from Flip Hacking Live. Is that there's a lot of skills and tips and tricks and stuff, but the thing that matters the most is the people. And if you can connect with the people, that's what will make all the difference in the world.
So you have a full-time job, correct?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And so you're not out there with just all the time. However, you've chosen and made the time and made the commitment, right? And so you hear, he's got a lovely wife, he's got two lovely kids, right? He's got action-packed, in life itself. God, of course, full-time job, out there finding the future for himself. How have you navigated all this to put yourself in the best position to find the time that you need to be able to go out there and crush your goals?
So we all have the same 24 hours in a day. I just try to, I focus on something that matters to me, and if it matters enough to me, then that gives me the fuel to drive forward. So I really think I have 3 full-time jobs. So I work for the VA Medical Center here in town. I'm also a realtor, so I help other people buy and sell houses to like live in or sometimes to invest in here locally. And I'm also an investor now. So there's always going to be an excuse for why you can't do something, or you're too busy, or you got a family, and families are time demanding, and work is time demanding. But in all of that, I just force myself to carve out time for the priorities for me. And as I've done that, I found that it gives me the fulfillment I need. So I love to play video games. So in my downtime, I'll jump on and play Call of Duty for a couple of hours. But I get just as much fulfillment in underwriting a deal now because I put in the time and the hours and the energy. I get just as much fulfillment talking with brokers on the phone because I put in my time and money and energy into this. So you start to grow a passion for the business that it doesn't feel quite so much like work.
Yeah, I love that. And honestly, 3 full-time jobs, still finding time to play video games because you've set intention on doing what's important and putting the action in, right? And that's life, right?
Yeah.
Instead of putting your time where the energy doesn't need to be, you set your intention right, put your energy in there, and it's just transformed. I mean, you're doing a ton. So how has finding community, finding other like-minded people who are all out there in the same driven capacity, wanting to buy multifamily, wanting to scale, wanting to set a new narrative for life, how has finding community, being one of the founding members, how has that helped you accelerate from where you were to where you are?
It almost doesn't make sense to me logically. Like I almost can't wrap my brain around that I'm putting in a letter of intent to purchase 1,150 units, and for 75, 70, 80 million dollars. Like, I can't, it seems like such an impossibility from what I understand about myself and where I came from just 2 years ago. So, I mean, my first purchase was a single family house. That gave me the confidence to go buy a duplex. That gave me the confidence to go buy an 8-unit. That gave me the confidence to go buy vacant land that I was going to develop and build a fourplex on. That gave me the confidence to go buy a 16-unit. And I don't know how I made the jump from 16 to 1146, but the community of people around me have supported me throughout. That includes, the leadership, but actually more than you, it includes John Brandon, and it includes Frank Coopersmith, and it includes Caroline Cohn, and it includes all the membership of the 7-Figure Multifamily group that are my cheerleaders. They're more excited about some of these deals, about me getting some of these deals than I am. So these are the kind of people that you want in your corner, picking you up when you get discouraged and disappointed by the lack of progress or the lack of forward momentum, but also cheering you on when you're really doing well.
Yeah, and I love that. And honestly, I remember, and not too long ago, right, we were having conversations because you were just trying to find your way, trying to find your spot, trying to find where you fit in, right? And it takes just putting yourself in a position where you found your superpower, right? You found your superpower going out there, connections, talking to people, lead generation, right? Because when we start out in a new space, which usually the hardest thing to do is find our way. And in multifamily, it's like no wonder there's 50, 60 different roles you could carry at any set time, but you can't do them all at once. And taking that energy, and just like you are between your 3 jobs, putting your energy into the right buckets and the right places, you've now just had this snowball effect, right? It's not so much like when it's or if, it's just now happening, right? Each week is almost like what Scotty have done now, right? Which is super exciting, right? It's super exciting to see where that goes, and that's why it's so fun to talk to you here on this platform. So you do right now have in front of you, a little over 1,100 units, $70+ million deal, exciting times, exciting point from there, and just the confidence that's built, right? And it goes that the mind becomes ready, so things become achievable. It's usually that first part where you did the single family, you did land. I didn't even know you were a realtor. That's a whole other thing you have going on here. And you get to the 16 units, other units, right? You start building that momentum, and the process is there, and the process is scalable beyond measures when you have guardrails, when you have oversight, and when you have people around you that everybody wants you to win, right? They're pushing to that point, and you want them to win. And at the same point, when you see them doing it, you say, well, why not me? Why not me? Why can't I, right? And then you start doing these deals, and we've just been seeing this pop and pop and pop. It's like popcorn popping, right? All throughout the community, because people are just taking action and just really crushing their goals. So I salute you. This has been so much fun to see your growth there. For anybody here that wants to learn more about Scotty Emsley, your story, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
Yeah, the best way is probably on Facebook or Instagram. I'm also going to be shortly launching a podcast called the Worst Ever Real Estate Investing Podcast. Keep an eye out on your favorite podcast platform for that. So that should be coming out here in the next couple months. We're going to push hard to make that happen. But if you want to connect, reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah, he's got great posts out there on Facebook, so he really just dives in, just some great stuff happens. So Scotty Emsley on Facebook and Instagram, the Worst Ever Real Estate Podcast, is that what we have?
Worst Ever Real Estate Investing Podcast, yes sir.
Worst Ever Real Estate Investing Podcast, you heard it here. Definitely go check that out. Go over to, of course, Apple Podcasts. It will be there for sure. Scotty, thank you. Thank you for coming on, sharing this journey. I can't wait. We do this again. I mean, we could probably do this again in a month and have a lot change, but let's say we'll do this again in 6 months, 12 months. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of awesome changes that's happening. So thank you for coming on the show. Super appreciate your time. For everyone listening, thank you for checking out another episode of the Evolution of a Multifamily Investor. You have Scotty Emsley on the show. You see the traction that he's built upon himself, just putting himself in the position to win and continue to win. It's incredible. And for anyone here who wants to learn more, you can go check us out, of course, over at 7 Figure Multifamily. We are going to have this awesome event where we're talking all these multifamily. We're going to have Scotty there. He's going to be there in the house talking about multifamily, June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And we will be in Nashville at the Opryland Hotel. Thank you so much. Bye now.